Well, here's my 24-gallon nano cube, and I realized it had been about 3 months since I last showed you guys what's going on with my nano reef, and I just find myself in front of the 90-gallon a lot more often, and it's just there's a lot more changes happening with that one, so I think that's why I do more videos there. But moving forward, I'm going to try to do like one update video a month on the 24-gallon. And they should be pretty quick videos because I don't really change a whole lot in this system, and rarely do I ever add anything, although I feel like I can add a couple more corals. And I did get this new piece of live rock recently that kind of just is a long narrow piece that juts out almost to the front here, and I'm thinking like right where this snail is on top, of putting like either a gorgonian or some kind of SPS branching coral. And I do dose this system with bionic, not heavily, but for my clams, so I feel like I could get away with doing an SPS of some sort, and that would look really cool, adding some dimension to the tank, having that growing in the front. One big change is since the last video I had to get rid of the large teardrop maxima, and in fact it didn't make it, unfortunately. It was never in great health. I got it from a friend of mine whose tank was crashing, and it was originally upstairs in my 90-gallon, and then I moved it down to the nano cube, and it was here for about 2 months, but it was slowly wasting away, and right when it was on its last leg I had to get it out of here quickly because this system's so small. I couldn't have that thing breaking down in here at all. So the other two Maximas are doing great. No issues there. My anemone and paired Picasso clowns are happy and healthy, and actually the clownfish have been laying eggs probably for about the last 2 months. I think they've done 4 rounds, and they lay their eggs right on this portion of the rock, kind of right underneath the anemone right there. So that's pretty cool. They've gotten to the point where they're comfortable enough, and I don't think I'm ever really going to attempt to rear the eggs. It just seems like a lot of work, and I would have to set up a breeding tank and all of that. I don't really have the time, I feel, to devote to that, but it is pretty neat that they're comfortable and happy enough to be doing that. I did add one other fish about 6 weeks ago. I just got a little goby. It was a yellow fang goby, and I saw him at the store, and he was pretty small, and I figured I could get away with him in this system, and he did fine and got along with the clowns great, but I think he wasn't getting enough food. The clowns, I wasn't feeding any extra to the tank, and the clowns were, I think, getting the majority of it. So he actually just disappeared one day. I never physically retrieved him from the system, but he may have swam into the anemone or something else, but he disappeared about a week ago. So it's just back to the paired Picassos, and I'll probably leave it like that for a while. Maybe at some point down the road get a small fish. If something catches my eye, I might do that at some point. These acans are doing great. They're pretty much filled out to be a whole colony, all the with mouths all the way down to the sand all the way around. And this camera really doesn't capture the color on these. It's a pretty vibrant red with pink centers, and it's a really nice colony, so that's cool. My 3 Maxi Mini carpet anemones are all doing fine, and pretty much in the same location. There's the green one in the back, and then these 2. And one thing that's pretty neat is my green star polyps have pretty much covered this entire rock, and then now have been growing up onto the back of the nano cube and even onto the glass right here. And eventually I'll probably cut this piece off with a razor blade it's fine right there, but I don't want it growing too far into the side view of the tank. So I might cut a piece off and maybe try it upstairs. But it's a really neat effect. The GSP going up the back of the nanocube, and then again in the front on the rock, it just kind of adds some neat dimension when you're looking into the front of the tank. And I'm just going to let it keep growing up there to the right, and I think it should ultimately cover a lot of the black backing to the nanocube. I did have one little change to my flow in the tank. I added on the return there a hydor rotating return nozzle. So that's kind of cool. It adds a little bit more of a varied flow to my tank. And I have a Maxi 900 pumping water through there. And I've had that going for maybe about 6 or 7 weeks. And that's been working out well. And then I have my hydor, or Corellia Nano power head. And when I'm in the tank every week or two, I kind of reposition that a little bit just to mix up the flow. But that's it as far as flow in this system. That's about it, guys. Otherwise, I mean, I have a couple Aiptasia in this tank. I have some bubble algae growing on the side of this maxima. And I have some green hair algae right on the tip of this rock. Not much, but there is some that I just started noticing a couple weeks ago. So there is always ongoing issues. I just did a big water change a couple days ago, about 25–30%. So I'm just going to stay on top of it, and shouldn't be a big deal. But otherwise, that's the update on the 24-gallon nanocube. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope everyone is really enjoying their systems out there. And I'll see you next time.